All right, baseball fans, welcome back to an elimination video. Today we're eliminating the St. Louis Cardinals. Probably, arguably, wow, tough to make this statement. Probably the best fourth place club in all of the baseball, but the record doesn't indicate that as they went 12-21 because they just were overwhelmed by their division rivals, the Cubs, the Reds, and the Pirates this year. Oddly enough, their 4.07 ERA is the lowest ERA in the division. But unfortunately, the batting average was also. This is a lumber division. You got to get crushing offense, and the Cardinals didn't have crushing offense, and they felt the pain. Scored 125 runs, gave up 159 runs. Disappointing season. Let's start with the good. Reggie Smith, just the team MVP, led the club in homer, RBI hits, 346, 404. We used the Boston cards last year in Boston card. Probably should stay in St. Louis longer before getting dealt to the Dodgers, but hold on to that guy. He's your star. Torrey, interesting story. The 71 card is gone. He underachieved with that card a year ago. He moved into a 287 card, and it's producing 331. So we actually overachieved this year. Run production not necessarily there. It was just 2 homers, 16 RBI, but he had the hits. McBride was good. Then after that, a drop-off. Simmons, an okay, barely, 263 with just 2 homers. That's not going to get it done. A bunch of infielders, washed up Don Buford, and then Lou Brock's disastrous 218, 301 on base, with just 15 stolen bases, and it got cut down about 10 times. 118 stolen bases for Lou in 1974. Well, he's got a couple more cracks to try that. Not going to come anywhere close. Bunch of Mendoza lines after that. Then the pitching, bright spot, Al Hrabowski again. Unfortunately for Al, wasted sitting in the bullpen waiting for a call when there no calls are coming. He just has 3 saves. But he certainly could save more if they were in more competitive games. 2.16 ERA for Al. Forsch added to the roster, did a great job as a swing starter, long relief. Sonny Siebert is getting up there in age, but he was okay. Steve Barber's situational was fine. Gibson had to bear the brunt of the Cubs and the Pirates and the Reds on his schedule, but still delivered a 5-5 season with 6 complete games. Numbers are slightly elevated, but that's understandable. This would be his final dominant card of 72. We'll find that out in the rest of this video. And then beyond that, Curtis coming over from Boston wasn't anything special. Chuck Taylor Spinks. I don't know how to say it. I mean, it's just there. It's just the way it goes. It's going to go this way for a while for the Cardinals until the early 80s. 81, they have the best record in the National League or the National League East. 82 to win the World Series. We got a long way to go to get there, so they're just going to have to figure this out on the fly. How in the heck do you get ahead in this division without realignment? When we look at the Cardinals, when we look at the dozen guys returning next year, you see, very optimistic. You got a DH, Jim Hart, who actually was a Yankee. Solid DH, plus they always like right-handed batters. And they can find them because they have so many lefties and switch hitters normally. Simmons, remarkable 75 card. Okay, you got Joe Torre. This is the card. Best batting average beyond 71. He hit 331 with this at first, or third. Tyson is just kind of okay at second or short. We'll put him at second for now. You got this Bill Sedakis card, 1 more year because of the ridiculous amount of home runs over here. As a switch hitter, could play all over the place. We can pencil him in at third base, but he probably should be better suited to be a DH pinch hitter type. Then the shortstop, Mike Phillips, not necessarily a strength, better served as a utility player. Now you're seeing why this team lags behind the Reds, Pirates, and Cubs. Here's Lou Brock. There it is, AAA Steeler, 74. Nowhere close to 306. Nice McBride card. 74 McBride card. You can actually get him into the 75, 76 card. One of those years he hits 330. You can move him into that. And of course, Reggie Smith. What's not to like? What a great player when you consider how to use him. Because you can put him in center or right or first base and a switch hitter. Very versatile, plus, a Hall of Fame switch hitter type. I don't think Reggie's in the Hall, is he? No, he's not. But still, one of the best switch hitters That's not in the Hall of Fame, I would say. Or maybe he is. I'll have to look that up. I'll look that up in the post game. I don't think he made it, though. Now the pitching, this is a problem. Looks like the whole rotation, their contracts expired. So coming back, well, let's start at the back end. Bob Forsch, you can move him into the rotation, and you could do that by upgrading the card to get him on 3 days rest, or use this one on 4 days rest. Chuck Taylor, still quality right-hand reliever. Quality everywhere, and of course Hrabowski. Quality everywhere. Brilliant 75 Hrabowski card. Just not a lot of it. So they got to make decisions, hard ones, on who to bring back on the pitching staff. So we'll do that now. The 8 guys, 1972 cards who expired. Who do the Cardinals keep? Who do they waive? Who do they retire? We'll find out shortly. Okay, baseball fans. First, we're going to take a look at Reggie Smith's brilliant career. Just because I was curious about it. No, not a Hall of Famer. And he just got cut down short with injuries. 7-time All-Star Gold Glove World Series champion. Came into the game young as well. At a tender age of 21. Had a bunch of great... He was on a Hall of Fame career, folks. He had some injuries late, though, at age 34. 79, 80, 182. One good year mixed in there. Out of the game by 37. Just fell short. 20 hits. 287 lifetime hitter. 314 home runs. He played to 40, had some full seasons in there, got to 2,800, maybe 3,000. Could he get to 3,000 hits? Probably not, but anyway. 400 so homers, probably not. But yeah, just a great career. MVP list a few times. All-Star. Neat player. Switch hitters, always love switch hitters. Outfielder and first base. But yeah, I can't really make a Hall of Fame career out of all those great numbers, though it's darn close. All right, let's go to the 8 guys, beginning with Buford. And Buford actually found a team with his bad 72 card. His final year at age 35, he just ran out of gas for Baltimore, hit 206. But the Cardinals picked it up because they wanted defense behind Lou Brock. He had a nice year, did okay in that role. But he's over at 72. His career's over. So we'll go into the roster sheet for the Cardinals. We'll go over to the columns for keep, waive, retire, and we will say goodbye and retire Don Buford. That's one guy on the offense. Next guy is John Kennedy. He was a toss-in the Boston-St. Louis deal involving Rick Wise and John Curtis and Reggie Smith. Had a long career, did John Kennedy. When I say a toss-in, I mean in my trade, not in actual Major League Baseball trades. His career continues to 74. Now, here's the catch. Can you get waivers for him in 73? 174 plate appearances for Boston. Let's go take a look at the waiver sheet, which is, you can find these at Super D's, Gary's Strat-O-Matic Gamers Resource, superds.tripod.com, and you can find all the roster sheets. We'll go to 73. For Boston, do we have Kennedy as an infielder? Probably an extra player. We'll scroll down for Boston. There he is. So we have a Strat-O-Matic card. We have to have a Strat-O-Matic card to get waivers, because we need to have a waiver list. We need 64 guys on waivers. We need 64 guys on retirement, and 128 keepers. That's 4 per team, 4, 2, and 2. So we can get waivers on Kennedy. We don't want to bring him back. And the third and final hitter to analyze is Ted Sizemore. They'll probably keep him. Let's take a look at Ted. Came over from the Dodgers. 69 to 80. And a Cardinal, for a huge chunk of it, goes back to the Dodgers, then Phillies. There he is here. So he just finished this season, and he actually improves his season, and he's got full seasons. Yeah, he's a Cardinal. No-brainer there. Just not much variety. Yeah, you just pick whichever year fits. Sometimes it's good to have guys like Sizemore where the year doesn't particularly matter too much, so that you can, if other players you want to keep have only one good year, you select those, and Sizemore takes what's ever left over. Because it doesn't really matter too much to determine what his best year is. He's very similar. So he is getting $10,000 to come back as a keeper. 10,000 tokens. Now the pitching, and this is going to get very interesting for this Cardinal team, beginning with Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. And when you look at 72, it's rather interesting to see how the years from 67 and beyond go here for Bob. So 70 and 71, his ERA goes over 3. So we skip those. We went to 72 and got the 112 whip and the 246 ERA, played it for 3 years. And he held up well in a tough division. But beyond this, you got choice to make. Doesn't pitch on 3 days rest in 73. Does in 74. Is worse than 74. Then 75 we kind of want to ignore. We might use that card later, when just to give him a farewell card. But I think I prefer him on 3 days rest, actually. Excuse me. I prefer this card. I want the good performance. I don't care about the 3 days rest. I want 73 versus 74. Either way, of course, he's a keeper. So if that's the case, the Cardinals can say, let's go to a 5-man rotation, or let's find 2 guys who can go on 3 days rest, because we're going to need a 5th starter if Gibson can only pitch on 4 days rest. So that's something to find out. If you look over here, this asterisk indicates presently that he could pitch on 3 days rest, and you could see that we had a 5th starter, Bob Forsch. So what we're thinking is bump Bob Forsch on a 3 days rest, put him up there, and move Bob Gibson down to the 2 spot on 4 days rest. And then you could continue an array like this that includes Curtis, and you replace these guys. But let's get there. We're getting there. We're getting there right now. John Curtis, the next one. Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. John Curtis. From 70 to 84. Nice long career for a lefty. Was a Red Sox, Cardinal, Giant, Padre, Angel. Here we are. Still very young. He's 25 years old. Pitches on 3 days rest in 73, and that is the only time he does it. So there you are. That's your solution. 1973 will be a big year for the Cardinals' pitching selections. Curtis will go on 3 days rest. Gibson will have the best year left in his career. You don't necessarily have to make Curtis the ace, of course. You could just have him pitch on 3 days rest in the 2 spot. But it appears that 73 Curtis is also the selection. So we're going to keep him. And that means, again, like Ted Sizemore, he won't be selected with a 73 card, because these guys are much more valuable with their performances. So Sizemore will be relegated to a 74, 75, or 76 card. Let's move on. Spinks, I believe, is done. I don't recall him, as a matter of fact. I think it was a one-hit wonder. Yep, 69 to 73. I don't recall a 73 card. Looking at the numbers, yeah, 118 innings, 72 card. That's what we used. It was a decent card, you know. Did okay with it. 38 innings and 73. I don't think they made that card for the Cardinals. We'll just look up anyway, as a courtesy, before we retire him. Here's the 73 Cardinals. Spinks, he's not there. And just because I remember, from the 1973 to 76 sets, I'm much more familiar with than the 72 set, which is very rare, by the way. 71 and 72 first edition Strat sets are worth gold, so if you find those, you hold on to them. Particularly 72. That's the most difficult one to find in a complete state. So the Cardinals, yeah, he's gone. 73. So we'll just retire him over here. And it's going to plan. We got 6 reviewed, 3 want to keep, 1 on waivers, 2 on retirement. Next, Sonny Siebert. And he's still got a little bit left. We've really enjoyed Sonny Siebert. We got some nice mileage out of him in Boston. Nice 11-year career. We got some good mileage with the Red Sox cards of 69, 70, 71. Prior to that, he was an Indian. The Cleveland Indian pitching factory of the 50s and 60s. Shame the team called the New York Yankees didn't exist. We would have heard we would have heard more about Cleveland if the Yankees didn't exist. But this Cleveland team could pitch in the 50s and 60s. My goodness. Boston, 72, Sonny Siebert. There it is. That's the card we played out. So now he's going into uncharted territory here. He goes from the Red Sox, well, he's mostly with Texas in 73. And that card could be in play. 74, he's with the Cardinals. That could be in play. 75, a combo card with Padres and A's. Intriguing situation here, but you need somebody at the bottom of your rotation. So for now, no need to put him on waivers. He's still capable. And he's Sonny Siebert. We like the guy. So let's keep him in St. Louis. So that means you've got one more player, Steve Barber, who I think is probably getting long in tooth. We might have a conventional list of keep waves and retires. Steve Barber was an angel. Nice little career for him. Well, you may be saying goodbye. Here it is, 60 to 74. Yes, Oriole, 66 World Series. Oh yeah, there you go. How about that? Got a 10-5 record. Won a World Series with Baltimore in '66. Is gone by the time the Orioles go back to the World Series. Then he kicks around. Was a Seattle Pilot. There you go. Trivia question. Naming the original Seattle Pilot players. So here we are now. Look at this. He's 34 years old, kicking around after some, lousy innings. Dazzles in California. Dazzles, I say, in 58 innings with a 115 whip there and a 2.02 ERA. But he survives in 73 as well. So you got a decision to make. As a lefty, normally a guy with a 3.53 ERA and a 1.36 whip, I would say is okay. Slightly above average, just kind of ordinary. But as a lefty, could be better than that. 73 card. Because lefties are like gold in this league. You got to hold on to your lefties. So for now, in an opportunistic situation, we'll make him a keeper as well. Now, if we did it this way, they'd have to make a deal in the offseason. Because you can only keep 4 guys. You got Sizemore, who's a lifetime Cardinal, pretty much, in this time at least. Jeff Gibson, a dead-brainer. Curtis is a dead-brainer. No-brainer. Dead brain's fine for me, though. Yeah, I got a dead brain. Sonny Siebert and Barber. One guy's going to stay. One guy will go. At TBD, to be determined in the offseason. To be determined on draft day, perhaps. Because you're trying to flex out how you're going to go into your rotation. We know Gibson and Curtis are going to be there. And Bob Forsch will probably be there in the rotation instead of the bullpen. That's 3 guys. And then it could be Siebert. It could be Barber in the bullpen. It won't be Spinks. So let's see. Lynn McLaughlin won't be available. He's on another team. Who do the Cardinals have pitching for them in 75, 76? Is something to be considered. They're going to have a top pick in the draft next year. The offense is loaded enough. They could probably go for a good third baseman, second baseman, shortstop somewhere in here in one of those drafts. Make Big McBride a 330 hitter might be an option. But yeah, the Cardinals. This is a good team. Good baseball team. Terrible division to play in. That's the scenario. Goal 1 next year, probably beat up the Cubs. And then after that, take on the Pirates. Yeah, the Pirates should start to fade a little bit until 79. And then, try and finish in second to the Big Red Machine. That's probably the mission in the offseason for the St. Louis Cardinals. Get to wild card contention. All right, thanks for checking this out. I hope you're appreciating these analysis videos. Eliminating the St. Louis Cardinals today. We'll see you next time.